Hi everybody, welcome. I just see the notification went out, so I'm going to give folks a few minutes to tag in. Got a lot I want to talk about tonight if we can get some folks in here, but if not, that's okay too. I can certainly go put my feet up and get under the covers and go to bed tonight because it's a cold one and it's yucky out there. I hope you're staying safe wherever you are. Gonna give people a little bit of time to log in. She's fine. She's fine. You could log in. That would just help if other people do. I'm hoping Karen Myers shows up tonight because I'm going to plug one of her wines this evening from Traveling Vineyard. It's a wine called Charita. It's a Syrah, and it's a red wine. And I looked up the pairings. You can go to the Traveling Vineyard website, and they will help you with wine pairings. What brings out the best flavors of the wine, and which wines bring out the best flavors of the foods you like. So I looked, and this particular wine, it said was really good. It was Parmesan, Manchego, several of the dry, hard, aged cheeses. Also said it was good with rosemary, some kind of rosemary dish. So there is some of that in the soup, so I think it'll pair well with the soup as well. Hey! Oh, that's on Messenger. Oh, why can't I see who's on though? Oh, there we go. Oh, hey sweetie. Nice to see you. I'm having cheese and wine. If we get enough people on, I was going to talk about the weather and if folks have had the flu and or strep. I've heard that several folks are getting it. Hi Beck! Face, got new makeup. What do you think? Do I look bright and shiny? I turned off the light over the fireplace because I felt like it was too bright. Do I need it? Everything looks good. Okay. So I'm going to give a few minutes to see if anybody shows up, and if not, I'm going to go eat my soup. Just enjoy my wine. I'm talking to myself again. I'm not sure how that keeps happening. Aww. Hi. This is my baby. She wants loving and cheese. She wants cheese. She's trying to get my cheese. But she had a tummy ache yesterday, so we're not letting her have extra stuff. You also have the flu. Yeah. So that's what we were going to talk about was if you've got the flu or strep or any of those things that are going around right now, what are you doing at home to relieve your symptoms? What home remedies do you use? Some folks do ginger ale or Sprite. Lots of people like soup or broth because it's salty and warm on your throat. When you have a sore throat, it's very comforting. But I was looking to see if there was something else out there that that you do. I amped up the vitamin C earlier in the winter, before Christmas actually. I started taking extra vitamin C. I usually do every winter to try to help my immune system ward off anything. Of course, sometimes you can't get away from the germs. They find you no matter what you do. So in that case, what do you like for comfort food when you're snowed in or sicked in? And I can't can't tell who just logged in. Somebody did. It's not telling me. So we're going to talk about turkey vegetable soup. That was the goal tonight, and I thought I'd do a little bit different format and sit by the fireside with the soup. It's already made. I spent the weekend prepping for a whole lot of different dishes, and I made quite a few over the weekend, and this was one that I went ahead and made. I thought it would taste better after it had set in the refrigerator for a day or two and let the flavors get together and soak into everything. But we videotaped it step by step, and I wanted to show you. There's the finished product, and it's got lots of good veg in it, and we'll talk a little bit about what your options are there, how you can do that. But the really nice thing, or the neat thing I wanted to show you was this is turkey vegetable soup with fried sage. And here's a piece of fried sage. It's fresh sage I bought in a package in the grocery store. If you grow your own, that's great. Wow, it makes my hair look really red when I put that up in front of me. But the fresh sage, you just put a little bit of olive oil in a pan, enough to just coat the bottom, and put your fresh sage leaves in flat and let them cook until they start to crisp around the edges and they curl up a little bit, and then flip them and let them cook again. You don't want to burn them, obviously, but you want to let them get kind of crispy. And these I made on Saturday, and then I put them in a Ziploc bag, so tonight when I pulled them out they were a little bit soggy because they'd sat in the oil. But I just put them in a dry pan and heated them, and they crunched up really well. You probably can't hear that, but they're going to go on top of this soup as a garnish. Fried sage is very good. And you know, sage is used in a lot of cultures to help with warding off things, bad spirits, bad germs. Sage is good for a lot of different things. It just tastes good. That's another good thing it's good for. And then we're going to put a little bit of Parmesan on top of that as well. For those of you who are just joining us, I think I saw Connie in there. Parmesan is really good on just about everything. It's a hard cheese, but it's got a mild flavor, so it doesn't overwhelm anything. Oh, the vapor distilled water with electrolytes. That's awesome. I also wanted to say, if you comment or say something in the comments while we're on here live, I'm going to try to respond to them, so I may seem a little bit, scattered because I'm going back and forth. But if you do ask a question or make a comment and I don't respond to it on the live feed, I will get back to you after, and I'll give you an answer if you ask a question, that kind of thing. I don't want you to feel like I ignored you. It's probably just because it scrolls by and I don't see it while I'm talking. So we put a little bit of that fried sage on top and a little bit of that Parmesan on top. I know it's hard to see. And then I've got some lovely herb de Provence bread. Now, I did not make this. You could. And I have made lots and lots of bread in my day. And I still can. But we are cutting down on carbs. So we're not eating a lot of bread these days. But this bread is made with rosemary, thyme, probably sage, parsley. You can smell all the really strong herbal smells in this bread. And it smelled so good in the grocery store, and I thought it would just be a perfect match with this soup. So I'm going to have a little bit of it as we go along, just because I couldn't resist the smell. It smelled so good heating up in my oven a while ago. It just made the whole kitchen smell good. But we are cutting down on carbs. Bread is a good comfort food when you're sick. It's a good comfort food when you're snowed in and it's cold. So it's a wonderful go-to thing. But I will say I've lost about 6 pounds just cutting carbs, just cutting out potatoes, bread, rice, and pasta. And so I don't cut everything. We aren't doing no carb. We are still eating some. We do tomatoes and things like that have some carbs. But just cutting out those main big filler carbs has really made a difference, and not just in our weight, but in how we feel. We don't have as much stomach trouble, bloating, things like that. So if you have those problems, or if you're looking to lose some weight, look into a low carb or a ketogenic diet, but do some research. try to understand the science and what you're getting yourself into, because there are some side effects to not having carbs that you need to be aware. Things like your electrolytes can get out of balance, and that's where Rebecca mentions the vapor distilled water is important, because you need to replenish those electrolytes, or else you'll end up with things like cramps and stuff. All right, so if I guess I thought we had somebody else on there, but now it just looks like 2 people. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this soup real quick, and then I'll get off of here, because we're going to post the video of how it's made. So I don't feel like you need to know too much from this. But it started with a roux, as most soups do, a mirepoix of onions, celery, and carrots. And I used the tricolor carrots because they're pretty and they look beautiful in anything. Lots of color is important in your diet because it helps your appetite. It makes you want to eat it more if it looks good. So it's important to try to make your food. Hi, Hazel. Glad to have you. It's important to try to make your food colorful and appealing, because it will be much more appetizing to you and to your family, especially if you have kids, to cook with color, because that's important. So we put those in with a little bit of olive oil, and then I let those cook for a little bit and soften, and then I added a pound of ground turkey, and I let that cook down and made sure it was well done, and broke it up as we went. Hey, Dreama. Hey, Hazel. How's everybody doing tonight? Glad y'all joined us. A little bit of salt and pepper while the turkey's cooking, and then added 6 cups of chicken broth to that, and some sage, thyme, parsley, and rosemary. And mixed all that in and let that cook down for a little while, probably about 30 to 45 minutes. Hey, I'm sorry you're freezing. We are too. We're in the teens here. We are below freezing. We're not down to 0 yet, but we're in the teens. Got quite a bit of snow today. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, was where everybody's from. Of course, I know where Dreama's at. And I know where Hazel is, and I'm glad you're well. We're all well here too this week. Last week I had a sinus infection, and grandson had strep, but we've avoided the flu so far, knock on wood. And so, but I know where you guys are from. And Dreama, how's your family? Is everybody staying well, or are you guys passing the flu or the strep or any other bugs around in your house? I can taste the sage really well. Of course, I added a pretty good amount of dried sage, the ground sage. I just used it out of a bottle or a container that was on my shelf. I added the fried sage on top, but that didn't add a lot of flavor because it's just as a garnish. So, but there's a good flavor of sage and rosemary and salt and heat. I'm not spicy heat, but the warmth of the soup is really good. And then when you get a little bite of that cheese, I'm trying to put the rest of my cheese on here because I want to be sure and get it all. When you get a little bite of that cheese in there, that just makes it even better because it's just that gooey goodness. Yeah, I saw where you're going to have that little surgery. I hope everything goes well. Yeah, stay healthy. We talked a little bit earlier about what you do to try to stay healthy during this weather and this season of germs. I said I started extra vitamin C early in the winter when it started to turn cold, so I do extra vitamin C every day. And Beck said she does the vapor distilled water with electrolytes added. So I was wondering, Hazel or Dreama, or hey Jessie, hi! If you guys, what do you do for home remedies to soothe the symptoms of these colds and flus that you just kind of have to ride out? What do you do to help yourself? And what are your favorite comfort foods when you're sick or snowed in? When I have a sore throat, this is really weird, but it's true. When I have a sore throat, I really want to eat Doritos. They feel so good on my throat. It seems counterintuitive, but it's like it just helps to mask that soreness maybe. Eat a lot of salad with vinaigrette. Ooh, vinaigrette's probably really good for you when you're sick, actually. Especially maybe if you have a stomach thing. I think the acidic, the vinegar would probably help settle your stomach a little. Now I told you, after I let that soup set for about 30 minutes and simmer with the carrots and the onion and the celery and the spices, the seasonings, the herbs added to it. Oh, my baby wants loving. I added in about 2 cups of chopped kale. Just put it on top, and then I let it simmer again for another 30 minutes or so until that kale wilted into the soup. And so I added those power greens because I love them. They're so good for you. They're so packed with powerful nutrients, and kale is one of those. Now, what can you do differently? Just about everything. You can throw in a package of frozen mixed vegetables with the green beans and the corn and the carrots and the peas. You can dice up some potatoes if you're not avoiding carbs like we are. You can throw in some macaroni or some kind of pasta if you want to make this a little heartier and heavier soup. The potatoes would also do that. You could throw in sweet potatoes. And I was thinking today this would be really good with mushrooms. Of course, I've decided I like mushrooms in my old age. And so some sliced mushrooms would have made this a little bit heartier for me too, since I can't have potatoes. I make elderberry syrup. Oh, we've been doing, does that say elderberry? I think it does. I'm almost afraid to touch my phone because I'm afraid I'm going to mess things up. We've been talking a lot about elderberries in our house the last few weeks. Elderberries are apparently very popular in Europe, but not so much here. And Hazel, you can tell me, I've been told that they have an unusual scent, that it's not a very appetizing smell that they give off, but that they taste really good when you've cooked them and put them in a syrup or a jam or something like that. And yes, most of the things in the berry family are packed with antioxidants, and that's what helps us fight infection and anything that's coming in trying to invade our bodies. The antioxidants help to fight that. They're the first line of a defense for us. So boosting your antioxidants in some way is better than not doing it at all. So if you do that in the form of eating them or ingesting them with a supplement of some sort, some methods of delivery are better than others, but my advice would be do something, because you're only helping yourself. They don't have a whole lot of negative side effects. Excess gets spilled out in your urine, so they don't build up in your system or anything. Yes, soup when sick is always good. That's why I decided to do soups this month, and I don't know if I was a little clairvoyant. I had no idea that the flu strep season was going to get so bad this month, but it really has skyrocketed in the last couple of weeks with so many sick. And then, of course, we got the big cold spell, so it worked out really well that we happened to be doing soups and stews all month, because that's perfect for both things. It's perfect for if you're sick, and it's perfect for if you're snowed in. Soup stretches a long time. You can make it last for days. You can freeze it really easily, thaw it out and heat it later. And it's usually easy on the budget, depending on what you're making, of course, but things like ground turkey and vegetables are relatively cheap. They'll go a long way, and they're good for you. So these are all good things. Also, I was going to share, my friend Karen was supposed to be on here, so I was going to share with you, I'm having a little bit of wine tonight. It's called Charita, and it's from Traveling Vineyard. It's a Syrah, which is a dry red wine, but it's really good with cheeses like Parmigiano Reggiano, which I put in the soup. It's also good with Manchego, which is another good hard aged cheese. any of those aged dry cheeses from Europe are especially good with this particular wine. And also some of the flavors that are in a soup, like rosemary and thyme, also pair well with that particular wine. I looked it up on their website. But that was just me, because I wanted something to warm me up while I was waiting to start this video. Well, I think pretty much everybody on here already knows me, and I know them to some degree. The fruit is used dry. Oh, I love the recipe, Hazel. That's one of the things I'd really like to see happen more on this page, is people sharing things with me. I will totally give you credit if I make your recipe. I'm happy to give you credit, because most everything I cook I don't make up myself anyway. But I want people to share their easy recipes and the things that they like to make, because I might find some things that I like that I've never done before. But Hazel, I was going to ask, when you're cooking this in the water, even if they come from dry, do they have an odd smell? I don't want to tell you what I've been told they smell like, but it's not a smell associated with food. And I'm just curious if they have an odd smell. Just because I've never cooked with them before, so I don't know. But I'm sure they're good for you. I have no doubt. And I have eaten elderberry jam and had elderberry wine, and it's all got a great flavor. And I haven't noticed any odd smell in the cooked product, the finished product. But I was just curious if you had noticed while you were cooking it that there was anything unusual about the smell. Okay. Interesting. Maybe it's something in the leaves when they're growing on the plant then. Maybe that's why. Or maybe my information is wrong too. That could be. I'll have to look that up. Very good. I will be giving the elderberry idea a try. I've seen a lot of elderberry home remedies on the internet lately. Echinacea is another one that people go to quite a bit when they're sick or when they're trying to prevent. Zinc is another recommended nutrient for helping to prevent colds and flus. It's not guaranteed, but it can sometimes help you. And especially if you're susceptible, if you have a reduced immune system for any reason, or if you're like Dreama, getting ready to try to get ready for a procedure or something like that, and you want to stay healthy, do yourself a favor and try a few of those preventative measures that you can do for yourself. It's not a bad idea. Getting plenty of sleep will also help your immune system. So making sure that you get a good night's sleep, or take naps in the daytime if you have that luxury. But get plenty of rest even when you're not sick, because that's going to help your body fight off the sickness. Oh, hey Linda. I didn't see Linda come on. It didn't give me a notification. But I'm really glad you're here. We're talking about, where are you from, Linda? We're talking about where everybody's from. And then if you've had the pleasure of experiencing, if you've had the pleasure yet of experiencing the flu and or strep and or any other cold-like bug so far this season, it's going around everywhere. So I'm just trying to get to know my neighbors a little bit. I've had a few new people. Hickory, North Carolina. Oh, we've been there, I think. I think we camped near there one time. Or is that near some trains and things in the mountains? Seems like we went to a train station in that area. But beautiful, beautiful mountainous country over there. Are you snowed in, Linda? We got dumped on pretty good here for a change. A lot of times the snow passes us by. Sometimes we get a little sleet or freezing rain, but we got a pretty good little dumping of snow today. Not feet or anything like that, but enough to cover the ground. But maybe those folks that live a little in higher elevations probably got a little bit more than we did. I'll hear more about it on the news tonight, I'm sure. Well, Linda, I'm glad you joined us. We talked a little bit about this turkey vegetable soup that I made over the weekend, and I've sat here and enjoyed a couple of bites of it. I garnished it with a little bit of fried sage. Hi, Lindsay. North Carolina, too. Now, where's Gastonia? Is that near Hickory or closer to going towards the coast? Known Linda for many years. Well, I'm so glad, and I don't know if Hazel brought you to me or what happened, but I'm really glad you're here. And I'm glad you guys have a good relationship. Anyway, I'm going to post a video later about the soup, about how it came to be, and we actually videotaped the whole process of making it. 5 inches in Martinsville. Wow, that's a lot. If we have 2, I'll be surprised, but it's, you know, it's a nice amount for us. We don't, like I said, we don't normally get any. Hi, Lindsay. So Lindsay and Linda know each other. Do Lindsay and Hazel know each other? Near Charlotte. Okay. That's a pretty, I love the Charlotte, I think it's, yeah, the Charlotte airport. I've had to go through there several times for traveling. And they have the best sushi place in that airport. I know airport sushi seems a little sketchy, but it is so good. Oh, well, you should get to know Hazel. Hazel does a lot of homegrown, home cooking. She grows a lot of her own vegetables, and she also paints, and she plays, is it a mandolin, Hazel? I think that's what she plays. And she's in a little group, and she sings a little, and she bartends on the side. Hazel is just a fabulous person to get to know, because she's kind of a jack of all trades, and she's pretty good at most of everything that she does. And we met her at a book event when we went to Kentucky to promote my husband's books. So really glad that you guys are here. I'm really glad I got to know Hazel and meet her, because she's been a joy to have in my life. And bought her CD. It's also very, very good. Hazel, feel free to post your CD information. It doesn't bother me at all. If you're interested and want to do that, and people can get it from you, because she's in a lovely band that's plays all around in Kentucky, and some in maybe Tennessee and some of the areas in the, you know, where she lives. But good to know everybody. I'm so glad you all joined me tonight. It's so Hazel, even if you don't want to post it here, you can post it on my page if you want to post your website information and or your access information to purchase a CD. I'm perfectly fine with that. I plug my friend Karen and her traveling vineyard business every so often when I get a chance, because everybody's just out there trying to make ends meet, and when you have a good product, then you know, you should promote that, and your friends should want to promote that for you as well. So I do want to give a shout out to Hazel. I don't think she sells her drawings and things, but they're pretty cool too. My daughter did the video of us making the soup, and so I'll be posting that on the page in the next few days. It'll be out there. But she's trying to do some new editing techniques and things that we haven't tried yet, because we're trying to up our game a little bit on the page and make it more engaging and entertaining, and not waste a lot of your time getting through the rough stuff, kind of like this stuff tonight. This is just chit chat. This is not meant to be really instructional or anything. So we're editing the instructional videos to cut some of those things out, so that we get to the heart of it and you get what you need and you go make your dish. I would like to say, for everybody that's watching and the folks that watch later, I would love to see you try some of these things. We've made quite a few really, really good soups and stews this month. Yes, I did post the gumbo. I posted the gumbo yesterday. The gumbo turned out so good. I made it in the crock pot. I did not use any seafood. I used chicken, ham, and andouille sausage because my grandson doesn't really care for seafood. But it's so spicy and yummy, and I put a whole bag, a 22-ounce bag of chopped okra in it, and oh man, I've had it the last 2 days for lunch. It's so good. But I would love to see you guys try these things, or send me pictures or recipes of your versions. I do realize that most gumbo contains some seafood. So, but like I said, I take somebody's recipe and I do my thing with it. I want you to take my recipes that I took from somebody else and do your thing with it. And then let me see what you did, because I might want to do your thing. I'm not the most creative person out there. I'll freely admit that. I've always admitted that. I'm not good at coming up for things with ideas on my own. But I know what I like. I know what my family likes. And so I try to create recipes or tweak recipes to appeal to us. But you might have an idea for something that I've never thought of. And I am getting more adventurous in my old age. We didn't eat avocados until we were in our 30s, and now I will eat them every chance I get. I never liked mushrooms as a young person, and probably within the last 2 years, I've decided that mushrooms are awesome, and I'm throwing in them in everything. So you do develop your tastes differently, especially if you're willing to try new things. So I want to try new things and things that I've not thought of before. So please share your comments, please share your ideas, your take on recipes, or if you have suggestions for something you want me to make on the page, I'm perfectly happy to do that. That's how I've learned how to do most everything, is that I just find a recipe and it's some kind of weird, bread or casserole or whatever. And I just follow the recipe and, do the best I can, see how it goes. And I found some really, really good food that way. That Italian gnocchi soup, the chicken Italian sausage and gnocchi soup that I made, I will be making again before the end of the month, because it was really, really good. I shared it with some folks at work. I shared it with my daughter, and hands down, everybody loved it. And, it could be made with potatoes added because that was in the original recipe, but it was not necessary. Didn't miss it, and it was fabulous. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I love you too, Dreama. And if I don't see you or talk to you again before your surgery, I know it's still a couple weeks away, I wish you all the best. I hope you do sail right through it and get it over with and move on. But anyway, thanks for dropping in. Do you have a website? I do not have a website because I don't really sell anything. Oh, or maybe you're talking to Hazel. I think Hazel does, actually. Sorry, y'all. I keep seeing people pull in my driveway and turn around. It's the weirdest thing because I know there's snow outside everywhere, and I don't know if maybe there's a car wreck out here on our street or something, because I keep seeing headlights and cars turning around, so there may be a wreck out here by us. Hey, Lori! I know where Lori's at. Lori's from my hometown. Well, my last hometown, where I grew up most of my middle school and high school years anyway. And so I know where she's at. Lori, do you have snow and ice and all the loveliness there that everyone else has? The chicken gnocchi was so good. It's on the page. There's a recipe and a video posted, and it was so easy. But man, oh man, was it delicious. But no, I don't have a personal website because I have nothing to sell. I am strictly doing this for me and for you. I've been told all my life, and I really believe that I am an encourager, that is one of my gifts, is to encourage people. And I'm not good at encouraging people in things I don't know or how to do. And cooking is one of those things that I really like to do. And I see and hear people talk about how much money they're spending on eating out or having food delivered to their home and things like that. And how they feel bad after they eat it because it's mostly junk. It's mostly fried and sauced up so much that you can't tolerate it. So I wanted to help people understand and show them that cooking at home doesn't have to be hard. It can be pretty simple. It takes a little bit of planning, especially if you have busy weeknights. You can plan way ahead and cook everything on the weekend. But even if you don't, just to plan your groceries so that you have what you need for what you want to make. And but then the cooking process and the preparing process is pretty quick and easy, as long as you already have a plan what you want to make to begin with. So that's why I'm doing this, is just to share with folks that they can do this too. It's not hard. Cooking is not rocket science. And many people are intimidated by cooking because they watch all these Food Network and everybody else's shows, and they think they have to be flipping through with the knife, 90 miles an hour, and they have to know all these things about all these herbs and vegetables and meat cuts and everything else. And you don't have to know any of that. You have to know what you like or what you want to try, and then come find a recipe that incorporates those things, and then go for it. Just follow the instruction. Yes, you're going to find some recipes that are lacking in their instruction. They don't tell you every step you have to take. And so if you really are a beginner cook, you will not know that you're missing steps until you've tried to make it. And then you'll be like, oh, that didn't work so good. I use allrecipes.com. They're not a sponsor. But I like that site, and probably most other recipe websites have the same features. I like the site because people post, okay, good night, Beck. People post reviews of, and All Recipes is recipes posted by non-professional cooks, mostly. It's just everyday cooks like you and me. So there's a lot of good home cooking kind of recipes on there, nothing too fancy usually. But they have reviews that they post from other people who tried it. And those people will tell you if that person left out a step, or if that, calls for way too much sugar, or that's way too much liquid to add. It's not going to thicken up like you want it to. So I always, if I find a recipe on there that I think looks good, I go down to the reviews and I read through some of them, because they will tell you, those cooks who have tried it will tell you what failed and what they did, or what you could do to not fail the first time you try it. And I really love that, because almost every single time I make a recipe off of there now, it's good, because I've already seen what everybody else did to mess up. And so I can go into it with confidence that I'm not going to do those things, and mine is going to be good. And it usually works out. And of course, as you cook more and more, and you get better at what you do, you will know almost by instinct that, 2 cups of sugar in that 1 cup of liquid is going to be syrup. I don't want that much. So, but unless you're making syrup. So you will learn what seems appropriate in a recipe and what sounds excessive in a recipe. And then you can tweak it yourself too. But I really do love the fact that they give you those reviews to read right there. Hi, Lindsay. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Lindsay. And we appreciate you stopping in. What are you eating tonight? We'd love to know. Good night, Lindsay. You enjoy, and y'all, I think I'm going to go too. This is going to make a really long video on the page, but I do appreciate y'all stopping by. Let me know what you think about this format of chatting about our food and our wine and our whatever, as opposed to me standing at the stove every time. I still want to do some of that. I want to be hands-on a little bit, but I have the ability now to make videos ahead and to do some of these instructional videos, how-to videos up ahead, and just post them on the site, and then save the live time for other things like chatting. But I want to know what you guys think, if you think that's worth my time or your time, or if you'd rather just see the cooking and move on. I'm really okay either way. I'm just trying to figure out what my audience is looking for, so that I can better help you. I want to be an encouragement to you and not a drain on your life. So I want you to tell me how I can do that for you. I do appreciate y'all stopping in. I'm going to go finish my soup. Thanks for stopping. And hey, Lauren. Oh, I can't go now. I got to let Lauren get in here. I know where Lauren is because she's up the hill a little bit from where I'm at. Oh, lasagna rolls. Yum. I tell you, y'all, I'm struggling really hard tonight to not eat this bread. I had a couple of bites, and I might have one more, because I do miss the breads and the pastas, and I don't really miss potatoes too much, but I do miss my breads and my pastas, and when I get around other people eating them, it's just such a draw. But I will say, since we've done the low carb, our guts feel better. We don't have as much trouble with our stomach issues, and I've lost about 6 pounds, so I can't complain. I mean, it seems to be giving me lots of good benefit. I just miss all those good carbs once in a while, and especially in this cold weather. I really want to eat just a big old loaf of bread or a big baked potato in this cold weather. It sounds so good. So Linda, I'm gonna live vicariously through you, and I hope you enjoy your lasagna rolls tonight. If you think they're worth it, you can certainly send us a picture and post it on here. I'd love to see it. That would be fabulous. But and then Lauren, hey Lauren, are you snowed in? Did you get away from work in time today? Or maybe you didn't even go to work because the kids were out of school. I came home about 4:45 tonight, and it was still snowing, but the roads were not bad. I didn't, go 90 miles an hour on the way home like I normally do. But I didn't have any slick spots that I hit. I didn't have any trouble with sliding or anything like that. And I know, though, that it's getting colder and colder every hour outside. So if you have to be out tonight, be really careful, because all of that's probably freezing over and getting slicker as we sit here. I said earlier, I've noticed several cars turning around in our driveway. I have a feeling there may be a wreck on our road out here, and people are trying to avoid sitting in the traffic. I don't know, because we live in a cul-de-sac and we don't get traffic hardly ever. So it's weird that I'm sitting here where I can see out the door and I'm seeing headlights every few minutes, like I'm having company. Anyway. Well, Lauren, I appreciate you dropping in, but we've been on here chatting now for a little while, and I made this turkey vegetable soup. Feed that little piece of cheese to the dog. And I'll post a video about how you can make that. There you go, puppy. There's you some cheese. But we were talking more about what you do when you're sick, if you've been sick, and I know we've talked about your family, but what you do for a home remedy when you're sick. What is your comfort food that you go to when you don't feel good, or your family? And what do you do for symptom relief at home? One of my big go-to things has always been Dayquil and NyQuil. They do the job. I know it's mostly chemicals and things like that, but when I'm really sick, now I don't take them if I just have the sniffles. But if I'm really sick and have congestion and all of that stuff, they give me relief from my symptoms, and I make it so that I can sleep and function. And when you have a family or a job that you can't always call in, it's important. And when I was working on the floor as a nurse, they really, really got upset with you when you called in, especially this time of year when the hospitals are full and they're brimming, and so they don't want us to be there if we're sick, but they also don't want us to not be there if we can possibly get there. So it was a really sometimes a tough call to make, but yeah, symptom relief is important. Hey Jenny, it's nice to see you. We're having wine. I hope you have yours. You've probably had it all day because you've been home from school. I think you've been snowed in. So, and you've been snowed in with your kids. So, cheers. God love you. I don't miss the days of having little ones and snow days. That was always a rough time. But tell Scott and little Raylyn that I said hi, and I'm glad you're tuning in. I think your kids are going to like February an awful lot. We're going to make a lot of sweet treats in February. We're going to make, oh, you had a 2-hour delay? Ah. I'm surprised. I thought sure you would have had a snow day up north. We had one here. We've probably got another one tomorrow. Well, that sucks. Sorry you had to go in. But, well, folks, I think I'm going to get off of here. The hubby's telling me to cut it off and get going. I've got to go clean up the kitchen now and tend to the doggy. But I do thank you all for stopping by. Please feel free to share comments, suggestions, your own recipes. I will always give you credit for them if you post them on here. I don't ever have a problem with that. We just try to keep this kid-friendly environment on our page, so just don't post anything that's not kid-appropriate, and we'll get along just fine. Extra time for coffee. Oh yeah, first thing in the morning. I need to go to work about 10:30 every day. That would be ideal, because then I can have a whole pot before I actually have to get out and do anything adult-like. And then, of course, you know, a glass or two of wine at night to counteract the coffee that the tons of coffee that I had all day. Well, ladies, it's been really, and Jessie, if you're still on there, it's been really nice talking with you tonight. Like I said, leave me your comments, tips, suggestions, what you want to see. February's coming up. February's going to be chocolate and strawberry treats for getting geared up for Valentine's Day. A lot of that's going to be kid-friendly, easy to make, that the kids can do for their classes or their friends. And then, because we're so heavy on the sugar and the sweets, we're going to offset that in between with some side dishes and salads that are low carb. So we're going to try to throw in some not so likely to spike your sugar level foods. And so I appreciate it. The strawberry things are going to be, some of them are going to be a little on the lighter side too. And I've decided to throw that in just for the folks that can't go heavy on the sugar or don't want to, like me. I mean, I don't really want all those carbs. I'm happy to make them and show other people how to do them and give them away. I love to take stuff to work and share with people when I make things, but I can't eat them. I really can't tolerate them very well when I'm not trying to cut carbs. So, and I know lots of you out there have the same kind of issues. So we will be doing some lighter sweet treats as well. They have a little less carb loading. But anyway, good night, ladies, and I'll be posting the video about how to make this soup. So just keep an eye out for it. Thank you all. Good night.